Hello and welcome, everyone. This is a challenging time. It's an exciting time in the sense that you've done the hard work and gone through the process of a legal education and law school, and here you are on the verge of taking the bar exam at a time when it's so different than what anyone would have expected, and the challenges and the frustrations and the uncertainties and the changing landscape only adds to making this a more uncomfortable, unpleasant, and agitating experience. Yet, this is the experience we have. And so, as we move forward, and hopefully, the powers that be that make decisions regarding the timing and the software and the go ahead will take into account the many voices that have been raised to suggest reasons why the process might not be as effective and as fair as it could be and should be. And we'll find out in time. But in all likelihood, at the moment, it appears the bar will move forward. That's an anxiety provoking thought in general, let alone when we add on the weight of so much that we are experiencing. And so I'd like to share with you on behalf of the University of Miami School of Law, the Mindfulness and Law program, our dean, our faculty, our staff, our student body, our community, our alumni, a series of short, guided practices that you can find helpful at this time for relaxation, for focus, for being a little bit more open to uncertainty, as uncomfortable as that will be at times, and to self-compassion. So 4 practices that you can draw upon of short duration, perhaps 6 minutes each. And I choose 6 minutes because as we enter the legal profession, whatever form that takes, doing the work that we want to do, that we hope to do, to be of service to our community, to fulfill our own life's aspirations. 6 minutes is an interesting number in the law. It's 0.1 if we were billing in a traditional legal environment, a marker of time. And so these practices will be 6 minutes in length. There's also a symbolic reminder of the path that we are on and the path that we will, uncertainty and changes here and there and hiccups along the way and little bits of changes that we make from time to time because of what arises. This is the path you are on. This is the road you are taking. You have worked hard to get here. You are working hard to move forward, and you will. And we are here to support you every step of the way. So, with that, the practices. This first practice is one that is pointing us towards relaxation. It's a mindfulness practice, but you'll see that we will be drawing upon the breath, slowing down the breath at various junctures, at the beginning, maybe in the middle, toward the end, because that can be helpful for relaxation, both in terms of this practice and also something you may draw upon at times coming forward in the future as it relates to studying, as it relates to being at the bar exam, as it relates to moments when we could use a little relaxation. And so we begin by bringing ourselves into a posture that's upright and stable, aware of the posture as we lower or close the eyes if we haven't already. Resting attention on the sensations of the body sitting. As we breathe. And taking a series of slower, deeper breaths. We'll begin with 3, just a little slower, just a little deeper than you might normally take. And it's important to be careful and good to yourself here, because if you're feeling especially agitated, The slower breath might run against the current of the shallow breath you're taking, and we don't want to meet it with some forceful response, but rather a joining together. And so we breathe in and out, a slower, tempered exhalation. Again, be good to yourself. Breathing in and out. It can be helpful to breathe out through the mouth as if blowing through a straw, so it's slower, it's tempered, but the nose works just as well. Breathing in and out. And then resting attention on the sensations of the breath flowing through the body as we drop into the body, turning our attention to the sensations of where our bottom meets the cushion or the seat beneath us. Directing our attention to the sensations of where our back may meet the back of the chair, or whatever we might notice here. Resting attention now on the sensations arising in and around the hands and fingers. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice feelings, sensations that have always been going on, but we've missed. And here we are, noticing perhaps a tingling, a vibration, perhaps a sense of touch, if the fingers are touching or one hand is resting in the other. The temperature of the air. This is a gentle noticing. The mind drops into this moment, and the body is pointing us in the direction of what's here now. Aware of the sensations arising in and around the feet as our attention, the flashlight of our attention, is gently moved, directed towards our feet and toes. Making contact with the ground or our shoes. As we breathe, aware of this body sitting, but more than sitting, moving with the breath. As we close this practice, taking 3 slower, deeper breaths, breathing in and out, breathing in and out, breathing in, breathing out. The exhalation, we settle, we sink into this moment. The breath is a powerful vehicle, a powerful tool for regulating how we are feeling. And now, as the breath resumes its natural rhythm, we move on with our day, knowing that we can turn to a slower, deeper breath at various times. To do it for more than a few moments can be helpful for settling in, for sinking in, for finding a little bit more present moment engagement when the mind is so busy thinking and fretting and taking us away in many regards from this extraordinary moment. I wish you all the best and much success in life and in the law. Welcome. This practice is called a focused attention practice because we will be focusing our attention on an object. I'll suggest the breath as an object, but you can make it something else. And when we notice our mind wandering, we gently return, and I'll be providing you with guidance along the way because that can be helpful for creating a more calm and steady state. And this is a very practical practice as well because when you're reading and studying for the bar, your mind will wander, it will drift. We want to notice and gently bring it back. At various times you'll be fretting about things that may or may not ever happen that are understandably worrisome. We notice the mind wandering and say, wait a minute, here we are, we're here, let's return. Or you may find yourself at the bar exam. You begin to have thoughts about other things and you realize and you go, oh, there I go. Let me come back to the task at hand. That is the essence of this practice. So we bring ourselves into a posture that's upright and stable. As we lower or close our eyes, whichever you prefer, resting attention on the sensations of the body sitting as we breathe. Settling into this practice and perhaps creating a little bit more of a relaxed state by taking a few slower, deeper breaths, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. The in-breath sort of wakes us up, engages, and the out-breath settles us into this moment, settles us. They work together. The breath resumes its natural pacing and rhythm, whatever that may be. Sometimes we'll be feeling anxious and restless, and the breath might be a little shallower. That's fine. We notice. Sometimes the breath will be silky and smooth and that's fine. We notice. The mindfulness practice, this practice, is one of noticing the moment as it is, being here for it. And so rest your attention on the sensations of the breath flowing through the body, or some other object if you prefer. A simple object, a steady object. And when you notice your mind wandering, which you probably already have, and in all likelihood will again and again, in that wonderful moment of realizing, oh, I forgot the breath, forgot my object, gently return. This is a gentle practice. It is a powerful practice. Gentle. As we find our way back to this moment. And we trust that the breath knows the way because it's here. It's this breath. Breathing and aware. Feeling the breath as it flows through the body. Feeling the body as it moves with the breath. And when we realize we're not here anymore, our mind has wandered, gently returning. we're witnessing the true nature of this moment. There's so much going on and it's all changing. It always is. But this witnessing, this knowing, isn't dependent on the things that come and go. And when you are ready, in the next moment or two, with an awareness of doing so, lifting the gaze, opening the eyes, I hope you found this practice to be helpful, and I wish you all the best. Welcome. This practice is known as open monitoring, whereas other practices have as a focal point an object like the breath or part of the body to have as the object of attention, and then when the mind wanders, which it will and will again, to gently bring it back to help stabilize attention and to notice mind wandering. This practice begins with that instruction, but then has us open up to be receptive and present and a witness to whatever comes along, whether it's sounds or things that pass before us if our eyes are open, or even thoughts or feelings, because they all come and go. And this is a practice in witnessing what comes and goes, so that we might find ourselves a little bit more steady in the midst of a very changing and uncertain environment. Because the witnessing, that aspect of our knowing, is somewhat independent of what comes and goes. And there's a stability and a deep knowing and trust that resides in that way of being present for our experience. So, let us bring ourselves into a posture that's upright and stable. As we lower or close the eyes, whichever you prefer, resting attention on the sensations of the body sitting as you breathe. And taking 3 slower, deeper breaths, as that can be helpful for establishing a steadier, more stable witness. By breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in a little slower, a little deeper. And breathing out a little fuller, slow, steady, a full exhalation, almost squeezing out the air. Breathing in and breathing out. Resting attention on now the sensations of the breath, whatever they may be in this moment, shallow, choppy. It may feel pleasant, unpleasant. The witnessing aspect of our nature has no preferences, really. It's witnessing whatever's arising. And here we are directing our attention to the sensations of the breath flowing through the body. For the sensations themselves will come and go. Perhaps a tension in the neck, butterflies in the stomach, an ache in the heart, chest. Then we expand the field of awareness around the body, around the breath, to notice sounds. We're listening for sounds, almost as if hearing for the first time. And indeed, these sounds we've never heard before. Not really. And so this is where our attention turns. The temperature of the air caressing the skin. It's always been here, but now we're aware a little bit more, perhaps. Warm, cool, neither, gently making contact, coming, going. We're interested. You see, where we direct our attention, we in some ways limit where our attention might otherwise randomly and gratuitously go. That doesn't serve us so well. And so now, as if we were a tree or a mountain, planted, grounded, steady, we observe the comings and goings of whatever it is that we notice for the next few minutes as we breathe. Aware, open, receptive. There may be a feeling that's unpleasant. We notice it. It shifts, it changes. There may be a thought about something. We notice it. It's gone. And we can always return to the breath to anchor us, to steady us if we find ourselves pulled away, caught, lost. And we can also have this more open, stance that we return to as well. The two work well together. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, with an awareness of doing so, lifting the gaze, opening the eyes, wishing you all the best. This practice is one that brings mindfulness and compassion together with an acronym that you may find useful, known as RAIN, R-A-I-N. I'll guide us through this practice where we'll recognize what we're experiencing. We'll acknowledge and allow it to be what it is. We'll investigate where in the body are we feeling the pull, the agitation of what we're experiencing, to almost hold it, to be present with it. And then we will nurture ourselves by perhaps putting a hand on our heart and or doing something that can be helpful to our well-being, a compassionate turn towards ourselves. So let us begin by bringing ourselves into a posture that's upright and stable. As we lower or close our eyes, rest our attention on the sensations of the body sitting as we breathe. Taking a few slower, deeper breaths, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing the breath to resume whatever it is in this moment, whatever its pacing, whatever its rhythm. Settling into the body. The exhalation sinks us in a little bit more fully into this moment. And then turning our attention to what we're feeling in this moment. It may be frustration or anger. It might be confusion. It might be an angst or an anxiety. It might be a resentment. It might be a sadness or heaviness of some sort. And in whatever way you might put into a word this, what you're thinking and feeling that are coming together to create a heavier state, an unpleasant state perhaps, to name it. We say we name and we tame. So it's the beginning of a process. And so we recognize with a loving and kind heart, okay, this is what I'm feeling. It's probably something that we have felt before. It's something we're going to feel again, and it's something that all of us share. We know these feelings as they come and go, and here we are with this one. And so we allow. It's like, okay, here it is. I could try to push it away, but even that is effortful. Can I befriend this unpleasant, uncomfortable, or whatever it may be, feeling that I'm experiencing now? Doesn't mean we want it to stay, doesn't mean we're going to do things to invite it to remain longer than its natural movement through us. But here it is. Okay. Now we investigate. All right, where am I feeling this in the body? Where am I sensing it? And turn your attention with a curious, interested, and loving mind and heart. An anxiety or a tension or a tightness in the chest. A racing heart. An ache in the shoulders. Butterflies in the stomach. And what are those butterflies? What is that really? A tightness, a looseness, a movement, a queasiness. Does it move? Does it change positions? Does it get stronger, weaker? We investigate. We turn our attention in this direction. And as we close this practice, we nurture, we put a hand on our heart, or wherever you may feel it being most helpful. And we remind ourselves, whatever words may be useful to you, maybe something somebody who cares so much for you has shared as wisdom or your own wisdom. Perhaps this too shall pass. I've worked hard for this moment. I'll get through this. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not alone, for surely you're not. Everything will be okay. Offer yourself whatever it is, even if it's just the touch of the hand on the heart, the kind caress of your own loving nature, offering it to yourself as we breathe in and out. And then perhaps returning to the acronym RAIN during the day when you find yourself getting caught, maybe coming back to this recording, or just remembering, I'm recognizing, what is it I'm feeling? I'm allowing it to be. Why fight reality in that moment? I'm investigating, and there's something very powerful to that, turning the attention inward. And I'm nurturing, I'm taking care of myself. And perhaps now, if there's something you can do to be good to yourself, a little extra sleep, something good to eat, healthy, maybe a little exercise or movement, maybe a conversation with a supportive friend. Alrighty, I wish you all the best.